Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Elias, Sailor Eli Warren.
I'm Maddie Grace Webben.
And I'm special guest Bernard Howe, because Sam is he still has a baby.
Yeah, I can't believe it either.
That didn't stop being a thing. Yeah, Bernard's back, and we'd love to see it, folks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We're glad to have him.
What are we doing, Eli?
We are... 2 out of the 3 of us are playing Ys. One of us got real frustrated early on and decided to give up and just watch a video.
Ys 1
Guess who
with
that
the
was?
Excellent subtitle, Ancient Ys Vanished. That's right, Ys is both in the title and the subtitle. Although my version of the game has a different title that I'll look up in a second because I already forgot it.
So I took some notes of things that... important notes about this game series.
What's going on with this shit?
Some of it is corrections to things that have been said on this podcast before.
Yeah, last week I was just spouting nonstop lies. I was saying a bunch of shit that was just completely false. And the funny thing is, most of the shit I was spouting was just stuff that I misheard from Bernard. Because Bernard has played, I think, a little bit of Ys before, as opposed to 0. And
I played, well, the first thing is that it's not pronounced Ys, it's pronounced Ys.
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 Well, my
like
bad.
geese.
My bad.
fine.
I looked at the katakana, and it's Ys.
Cool.
I won't be mad if you pronounce it Ys. But, yes, I've played Ys 1. I played it a few years ago and then didn't get around to playing Ys 2. Because it is a bit of a stressful game. And so I wanted to take a break. And then that break ended up being a few years. But, so, Maddie said it was originally released on the PC Engine, which is not true. The games were originally released on the PC-88, which is an old-ass Japanese computer.
Funny thing is, I actually was visualizing the right thing in my head. I just forgot what it was called. Because, of course, PC Engine is the same thing as a TurboGrafx. Obviously, this game has a lot worse graphics than a TurboGrafx game. Those graphics are not turbo.
Yeah.
So.
But when Ys 1 and 2 were released as a bundle, they were first released on the PC Engine CDs, so you were almost right in a roundabout way. So...
Also the music.
Also the music. Maddie said that the games have completely different compositions each time, which they don't. They have rearrangements of the same music, and I'm sure if as you go through, new versions would get a new song here and there, but no, that was a lie.
Yeah, I think I must have just at some point heard 2 songs that were so wildly different that I assumed the whole soundtrack was like that. Okay, cool.
But anyway, so these games came out a long time ago, and they have a long and wild history of being released on every fucking platform that has ever existed. So, Ys 1 and 2 were released separately on various Japanese computers and the Famicom. Ys 1 was also released in the West on the Master System, MS-DOS, and Apple IIgs, but Ys 2 never saw a standalone Western release. However, an MS-DOS version of Ys 2 was developed and released exclusively in Korea. It contains a bunch of exclusive content based on the Ys 2 anime, which had recently come out. Then Ys 1 and 2 were remade and released as a package for the PC Engine CD, for Windows as the version Eternal in 1997, for Windows again as the version Complete in 2001, then PS2, then DS, then PSP, then Windows again as the Chronicles version in 2009, and then on iOS and Android.
And the Chronicles version is the version that people would basically be playing today, or some version based off of that.
I had never heard of this game before it came up as one of our votes. It got remade so many times.
You didn't hear about Ys 8? Lacrimosa of Dana? All the weebs were talking about it last year.
I don't really pay attention to weeb stuff like I used to.
Okay, well that's fair and good.
I mean, Ys is pretty obscure in the West, and I don't know if it's particularly, like, not obscure in Japan, but I think they always are just barely popular enough to, like...
They just keep on keeping on.
Yeah?
Ys 8 was a bit of a breakout hit, though, in the West. Not like, I'm not saying it was like an insane breakout hit, but like, I know it sold pretty damn well, and a lot of people were talking about it.
It didn't sell well enough for them to announce a localization of Ys 9 yet.
Although, apparently they had enough money. Do you remember what happened with localization with Ys 8?
Yes, apparently it was
weird.
like pure shit, and they completely relocalized it because people were so... They were so upset by how bad the localization was.
After the game came out, they, not for extra money or anything, they just released a patch, like a year later, that was a complete relocalization, including all the voice acting. Which
is
a fuck ton of
wild.
work.
Yeah.
You know what game didn't do that? Persona 5.
I think Ys 8's localization was probably worse than Persona 5's.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a cool fucking series. And yeah, do you have any other fun facts for us?
I do. I have in my notes here, Falcom is known for making games with outstanding soundtracks, and they're, like, most of their soundtracks are on Spotify, so just search for Falcom on there and go wild.
Yeah, it's stupid good. Put that shit on a workout playlist.
Yes. Ys 1 and 2 were largely composed by the legendary Yuzo Koshiro, who, if you don't know his name, he went on to compose music for games like Streets of Rage and Etrian Odyssey, and Etrian Odyssey just has wild music. And there are a ton of versions of the Ys 1 and 2 soundtracks, so when you hear the music in between segments on the show, we'll be pulling from different ones, so they'll sound different. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say one more thing. Shit, what was it? Oh no. The company, Falcom. Are they related to NIS? Are they, or did NIS just publish it? Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Falcom. I'm thinking of Spike Chunsoft. Are they related to them somehow?
Are you asking if Falcom is related to Spike Chunsoft?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think Falcom's just their own thing.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm mistaken. Also, friends of the show who follow us and know what kind of dumb shit we're into, will know that, hopefully this is not also a lie, what is Falcom's other major series, Bernard?
The Legend of Heroes.
Yes, see, so those games that people are always talking about in the Discord, the Trails series, Trails in the Sky,
Kiseki, as they often call them, because they're fucking weebs.
Yeah, Trails of Cold Steel, Trails of whatever, Trails of Vesperia. Those games are apparently also amazing,
the Trails games.
And they also have amazing soundtracks. So, cool fucking little company. They've been making these games that are like only a kind of popular for like 30 fucking years now.
Yeah, and they've made tons of other games. They turn out these games with amazing music, and like, I've never heard someone say, "Oh, that Falcom game is not good."
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Falcom, even though I've played one of their games.
Yep. As for game versions, Bernard, you are playing the modern PC releases, right?
Yes, I'm playing the modern Chronicles Plus version on Steam.
And those have nice-ass graphics, maybe multiple soundtrack options?
Yes, they have the newest version, the Chronicles version of the soundtrack. They have the complete version of the soundtrack, which if I recall correctly what I said earlier, that's the one from 2001. And then they have the very original PC-88 soundtrack, which is cool. And that is the one that Sam recommends playing with, because the PC-88, its music sounds real cool. I'm playing with the Chronicles version, but I'll like switch to other ones.
Yeah, it's the old one is chunky. I wanted to play the modern PC version, but I only have a Mac, and I just want to give a quick shout out to someone, because So this isn't just like an EXE. Like last time I played a game that was a PC game for this pod, it was just an EXE for some indie game. And I just ran it through Wine, and with a little bit of tweaking, it worked. This, though, you can only get it on GOG or Steam, so Wine doesn't work, because it has to run like an installer and do all this weird shit. But there's this program called Porting Kit that some fella made. I forget the fella's name, but I'm shouting out his product, so, that's fine. It's a free thing supported by sort of by donations, stuff like that. Maybe he's got a Patreon, and it's basically a wrapper GOG style launcher. You open it up and it shows all of your library, and when you download it and open it, it automatically just shows all of the games that I own from GOG, and you click on them and you download the GOG installer, but then run it through this program. And it does all this complicated fancy pants Wine stuff to allow you to play the game. And I'm pretty sure the guy has to do them, or maybe not all of them, but I think a lot of these games he has to do them custom, like one by one. Like each game he has to figure out how to do the installer for it. Because each game
How many games could there be on Steam?
Yeah, I'm sure he probably has a team, and he probably does like the most.
There's at least 3.
I'm sure that he probably does like the most requested games, right? But yeah, each game has little notes of like, what do you have to do to install this one? So I actually couldn't get it to work on my computer, but I was going online and it seemed like I almost couldn't find anyone having the problem I was having, because it seems like for most people it works flawlessly. I think it might have to do with a very specific version of Mac OS I have, and I wasn't gonna fucking update, even though I am outdated right now. Anyway, shout out to Porting Kit for making it possible for many people, though not me, to play various GOG and Steam games on their Mac. I eventually gave up. I wanted to play the original PC-88 game. I don't think anyone has made a fanlation of it, which is a damn shame, because I would have emulated the bazonkers out of that. But I am playing the Sega Master System version, which is lovely.
Do you know what version you'll be playing for East 2, since, as we discussed earlier, East 1 has not been released on Master System?
I'll figure it out. I'll make sure to give myself more time to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably play the PC Engine CD version.
Yeah, exactly. Is that released in the West?
No.
Okay, but there's probably a fanlation of it.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, yes, it was, I believe.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Also, I fucking love the PC. I love the PC Engine / TurboGrafx CD. It's a great console, so yeah, I'm all about it.
Yes.
I'll figure it out. That's like in 2.5 weeks from now, so.
So we didn't talk about how our weeks are. Do we want to do that?
Oh, wow, sorry. We just launched into this shit. Yeah. Eli, how's it going with you?
It's going okay. I don't really have that much to report at the moment.
Good.
I don't think anything happened, actually, that was really notable. I posted a picture on Twitter and no one cared. There's that.
A picture on Twitter?
Yeah.
I didn't see a picture on Twitter.
It's because no one pays attention to my Twitter.
No, it got buried.
All I get on Twitter for notifications are, you missed so-and-so's tweet, and I'm like, cool, okay.
Yeah, even though I told Twitter to stop doing the algorithm thing, I think it does, because Bernard, I don't think I've seen a tweet of yours in weeks. But you might just say, oh, well, I guess people just get buried because I follow too many people. No, there are certain people who I always see their tweets, so I think it's doing algorithm shit.
Gotcha. Yeah, so, I linked it in the Discord as well, but no one went to my Twitter, so...
Well, I just retweeted you, so there.
Thank you. It's a picture that I'm very proud of because I worked my ass off.
Yeah, it's good as shit. I saw it in the Discord and I didn't think to click through.
Oh, the one with the two people that you posted in the Discord?
Yeah,
that was really good.
Thank you. It's an Aura and a Mikote from Final Fantasy XIV. They're
I don't know what those are.
An Aura is like a dragon man, and a Mikote is like a cat man.
Cool. I can see that in the picture.
Yes, you can tell because one of them looks like he's got scales, and the other looks like he's got cat ears.
Tag yourself, I'm the one with scales.
I'm the one with scales. That's my character. Do not steal my OC.
Okay.
But yes, that's my character, and then my friend Sale, whose character name is an anagram of my actual name, Elias. It's very weird how that worked out. But yes, I worked very hard on that. I might color it. I'm gonna give it my best effort. Not great at coloring, mostly because I get frustrated and annoyed and give up.
Who needs to color things? You know who doesn't need to color anything? Frickin' Yoji Shinkawa, and he gets by just fine.
I appreciate the encouragement.
What's his name? Hussey doesn't color
Andrew
characters.
Hussey doesn't color things. Yeah, it's true.
Maddie, how was your week?
My week was good. We don't need to talk about the Iowa caucus because that already happened that happened before last time. And
it's all resolved.
And it's all definitely resolved, and we all can stop thinking about it now.
Can we, though?
I've just been vibrating because of politics. I thought that the New Hampshire primary was today, but it turns out it's tomorrow, so that's funny. That's it. Nothing notable's happened for me either, which, as Eli said, is... Well, you actually didn't say this, but you said it last week. It's real good. I'm really glad that nothing interesting is happening to me this week.
Uneventful is better than fucking horrible.
No, I'm having a good time. Having a good time. I did do karaoke Saturday night. That was fun.
I want to do karaoke.
Someone sang that song, so there we go. That's me.
I've never done karaoke.
Oh my god.
You
live near me. We could go do karaoke together sometime, Bernard.
But I'm scared.
Are there any private room places in Austin?
I bet there are. Oh, no, actually, I know there definitely are, because I went to one. I went to a bachelorette party, and I dressed in drag, and we all did karaoke together. It was really fun.
I like doing karaoke at a bar because I'm vain and want as many strangers as possible to see me sing and look pretty. But my friends have more social anxiety, so we usually, we get a private room, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
What's going on with you?
Well, let me tell you everything that's happened since the last time I was on the pod.
Oh, boy.
Strap in, folks!
I'm not going to do that. Biggest thing in my life since the last time I appeared on the pod is I've started learning Japanese.
Yeah.
And I'm really committed to it. I've been doing it for, I think it's 2 weeks today, and I've studied every day, and I'm working hard, and I'm learning the kanji, and I'm learning the vocabulary and the grammar and the hiragana and the katakana and all that, and yeah. That's the main thing going on with me.
Nice. Wait, you've been learning Japanese for 2 weeks already, and you're not playing Ease on the PC-88 in the original Japanese?
It's Ease.
Ease, excuse me.
No, not quite. No, I am playing the English version.
Nice.
If you ever want to practice Japanese with someone, I would be happy to do so with you, because I need to get back into it. Mostly to play my Final Fantasy character. Anyway.
What I need to do is then, when I'm done learning Japanese, learn Korean so I can play that cool Korean version of East 2.
There you go.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, one of the apps I'm using for Japanese is called Lingo Deer, and it has achievements. And as far as I can tell, 10 of the achievements are each of them is for completing the courses for one of the languages they offer. So if I want to be a completionist with Lingo Deer, I need to complete the courses for 10 different languages.
No problem. Just that. I feel like that is literally the words, like, that's the only answer you could give to why do you know 10 languages. That would be a bad answer that would make someone think you're less cool instead of more cool. Any other answer, people were like, wow, you're so impressive. How do you know 10 languages? Because I really wanted to get the Plat Trophy on this video game. It's like, oh, you're actually a nerd.
Yeah. Anyway, is that everything for the intro?
I think so. Let's all be quiet for a second and do some music.
Wasn't that music great?
Probably was.
It was fantastic.
Fucking rules.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's good shit. All right, Bernard, you took notes this week. Start us off, please.
So, the beginning of this game is going to be way different from what Maddie experienced. The game opens with an anime cutscene showing various visions of what's to come, including some naked ladies.
What? I miss naked ladies.
You missed the naked ladies.
Damn it.
Our hero, Adol, or Adel, I'm not quite sure. We'll say Adol. Maddie, what did you say his name is in the version you're playing?
Let me find...
It was Aaron Christian, wasn't it?
Aaron
Christian.
Okay.
Oops.
I believe his last name is still Christian in...
I think it's
yeah, it is. I just
Kristen.
that just seemed like such an anglicized name. I was like, oh, that must be what the localizers called him, so that he'd sound like a medieval knight, you know?
Anyway, Adel is shipwrecked on an island that has this huge tower on it. Very tall. The tower has a small bridge extending from it about halfway up, which leads to this floating mini tower. And, I mean, it has the bridge connected, so it's kind of not floating, but there's nothing to support it, and it's a very striking image, in my opinion.
It
looks really cool.
It is perhaps cantilevered.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Anyway, Adel wakes up in a clinic and is greeted by Dr. Bluto, who has a stupid name, and he's like, "Oh, you're finally awake."
He's from
and
Popeye.
then Bluto's and then Bluto's son Slav, who has an even stupider name, shows up and is like, "Oh, you're finally awake. I run the town militia." And then he leaves and you go back to sleep. Or wait, he mentions that something called the Storm Wall is surrounding the island, which is called Asteria, and Adel is the first person who has crossed it, even though crossing it didn't go very well for him. So, eventually Adel recovers and he strolls around town. We found out that the Storm Wall, which appeared 6 months ago, has ruined the town's trade. This island was big on trading silver, but now the trade has dried up because no one can come or go. And there are monsters roaming around outside the city, which also appeared 6 months ago. A town called Raston was completely destroyed by the monsters, and lots of people in the town want to move to Minea, which is a walled city nearby, which may be safer. And I believe, Maddie, the version you're playing starts in Minea.
Yes, so most of what you said actually is in the manual for my game. It's got a very lovely manual, and it explains it with some, less detail. Actually, more detail in some ways. I would pull it up, but I won't bother. It has some lore stuff that maybe you're not supposed to know about till later. But yeah, dude shipwrecked, he just has to help out. My game, it literally just, you're on the title screen. So, actually, just cute little quirk. You don't hit new game or anything. It's just, there's a title screen, and you hit a button, and now you're just in Minea walking around.
Nice.
If you want to load your game, after you are walking around in Minea, you then open the menu and hit load game.
Cute.
Which is goofy. But yeah, you're just walking around, and some random person's like, the economy's been bad lately ever since the silver mine, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it just starts.
Yeah. So, one fun thing is that if you talk to every single person in the town, which is hard because there's a lot of people in this town, then you go talk to Slav. He's like, "I'm lead the militia. Here's a sword," if you have talked to everybody. And then you get a free sword.
Hell yeah.
Which is nice and very good for when you are traveling to Minea, because there is no shop that you can access in the port town, Barboda, which is where you are now.
Man, you got a whole other town. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, So, I think in Barbados you hear that there's a fortune teller in Minea who has been looking for a swordsman, and you're like, "I'll go to Minea because I don't have anything else to do in this shit town." So Adel travels to Minea, which is a short distance north, and if you go straight to the fortune teller, she's like, "Oh my god, you're the swords..." That isn't her voice. She's like, oh my god, you're the swordsman who I've been looking for. Get your equipment in order and come back. So you have to go buy shit. But there's some things you can do around the town. I made sure to do all of the side quests because this game isn't very long, so I figured we should, talk about the side quests. So around the town, you hear that in addition to the storm wall and the monsters, Monet has been hounded by a band of thieves who are stealing everyone's silver. And also, a man tells you that someone named Pim found a ring on the ground and took it to his store. Pim's store, that is, not the man's store. And
Pim is such a jerk for just selling shit he finds. Which is like...
Yes, exactly.
That's every RPG protagonist ever. I found shit on the ground. Time to go make some money.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Pim is actually the protagonist of this game.
That might be it.
So in the tavern, you find a fellow named Donis who tells you he lost his ring that he meant to give to his wife. So, you can go to Pim at the pawn shop and buy it for 1,000 gold. I think you might actually be able to barter down, but I didn't do that. But that was fine because I bought it for 1,000 gold. And then when I returned it to Donis, he was like, oh, how can I ever thank you? Here's 1,500 gold. And I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah, so in your version, he lost the ring?
Yeah.
In mine, he definitely was like, it was stolen. Maybe by the thieves. But and then the person in the town says, yeah, that's item shop seller will sell anything, even if it's stolen.
So you think the ring was fenced?
So I love that personally. Also, I was going to do memorable moments since we're already talking about it. This is crazy. The game starts you off. I don't know about your version. The game starts you off with 1,000 gold. So, and also, I didn't start with a sword because I didn't go to Barbosa. So you start off with 1,000 gold, and that's it. And you got to get a sword, you got to get a shield, you got to get armor. You have to do all three of those things before you can talk to the lady and get your first quest. Though you can go out to the outside of town anytime you want. The sword costs 500. The sword costs 1,000. The sword costs 1,000. The armor costs 500. And the shield costs 400. I might have those backwards or something like that. No, 700. One of them, whatever. The point is, it all adds up to I think $1,600. So right off the bat, if you're just like, cool, I'm going to get a sword, and you spend money on the sword, then you can't buy the sapphire ring. So right off the bat, the first thing that happens in the entire fucking game for me is basically a puzzle, and the puzzle is if you talk to everyone, then you can get almost enough money to buy everything you need right off the bat by doing this little quest with the guy's ring, and then you get $1,500. If you don't do that, if you jump the gun and buy a sword, you now can no longer complete the quest because you don't have enough money, and you have to go and kill enemies and get 500 more gold. And the funny thing is, I made the latter mistake, and it wasn't until after I'd been playing the game for, I'd say, at least an hour. I'd already, maybe gained a level and explored other places and gotten, 500 or 600 gold. At that point, I realized my mistake. I went back and talked to the NPCs again, realized how the quest was, restarted the game, and, I had far overtaken my progress in, 10 minutes.
Nice.
So, really crazy. The game's just figure this quest out, or you fucking screw yourself. It's good.
Yeah, I like that little quest. It's cute. And also in the tavern, there's a man named Garrick who tells you there used to be these trees called rhoda trees in Asteria, and their seeds were a delicacy. I don't know if that'll come up again. It probably will.
Probably will.
Also, if you talk to everyone, a local poet and troubadour named Rhea says her silver harmonica was stolen. And a bunch of people in town are sad because they really liked listening to this woman play music on her harmonica.
Other things that have been stolen are silver armor, a silver shield, and silver sword.
Oh, I don't think I heard about the silver shield.
If you go to the shopkeep and try to purchase those items, they'll say, I don't have it. Someone else... Actually, I don't think stole it. They'll say someone came through here and bought it. And it's always the same guy. It's some sort of mysterious figure in a black cloak.
Yes, there are multiple references throughout the different towns to a man in a black cape. It's probably Sephiroth.
Yes, I was
Probably.
thinking.
Maybe this dude just really likes silver.
Well, that's the
Because
thing.
there's another silver item later on.
Yeah,
that
so
gets
this is a silver
stolen.
town. Silver items are being stolen or purchased by thieves or the man in the black cloak. So yeah, it's cool. That's a running thing.
Mm-hmm. There's actually this one NPC who is like, this man in a black cape came through town. He was fucking hot.
Yes, I
love that.
I actually have all of this in my game.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that there's that so much of what I was enjoying was there, even in the old ass Master System version.
Also mine has like Dragon Warrior 1 ass like medieval writing.
Nice.
It's really good.
So once you have the sword, shield, and armor, the fortune teller, whose name's Sarah, is like, finally, you got all that shit. I want you to seek the books of Ys. Ys was an ancient civilization that vanished. Ancient Ys vanished, and the books supposedly detail its downfall. And she senses that the first book is in a mountain shrine, and she gives you a crystal which will guide you. And she tells you to visit her aunt Jebba in the town of Zepik on your way. Everything has just a weird name that's not quite good.
I want to offer a little bit of extra knowledge. I don't know if this is incorrect because of localization, or if they just decided to have different information in localization. But in both the game and manual for the version I'm playing, they say that the books really contain more information about how there used to be these. I kind of forgot. I think they're sages. There used to be a bunch of sages that were heroes, and they saved Ys, which later had a downfall anyway. But they were heroes, and the books detail what they did to drive away the evil. But then, like, again, later it all went wrong. So maybe it's both. Maybe they saved Ys, and then later Ys was destroyed, and we're going to learn about both of those, because right now we're experiencing evil. So if we learn about the wizards who saved Ys from evil in the past, maybe we can do so again.
Yeah, and probably as good a time as any to point out that some people in the towns will mention that there's a legend of two goddesses, maybe the Naked Ladies, two of us saw in the opening.
I haven't heard that one. That's new for me.
We'll see. So you leave Minea, and you bump into a bunch of enemies on the way. We haven't talked about the battle system.
Let's have Eli explain the battle system.
It's terrible. I hate it.
Yeah, tell us about
the end. So the battle system, you have to run into enemies, but you have to run into them off-center, because if you run into them head-on, then, like, so he automatically, like, whips out his sword and just attacks, which would be great, but I'm really bad at angling. If you hit them dead-on, they will attack you back. If you hit them off-center, then they're less likely to be able to hit you. I struggled so hard with this, and I stuck it out for a while, but there was a boss that came up later,
that boss is
and
hard as shit.
I wanted to die. Like, I was so angry. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I better just watch a video, because if I don't, I'm gonna hate this game. And I don't want to hate this game, because it's very bright and charming. I'm sure that there will be other abilities that come up at some point, but I just can't. Okay, cool. Well, I can't handle what it did to me. I am weak, I am bad at games, and I am sorry.
Yeah, you kind of just bump into people. I'm playing like I said, a much older version. Mine doesn't have an animation. He doesn't swing his sword. Your sword's out in front of you, and you just bump into them.
You just bump into it. I will say one nice thing that it does is if you stand still for a little while, you'll start regaining your health. And as long as you're standing still, you can just regenerate to full that way.
Yeah, this game had fucking regenerating
health. But not
health.
during a boss battle, it turns out.
Nope.
Correct!
Yep, this game had fucking regenerating health in 1987, which is pretty advanced.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool. So you go outside, you just sort of bump into people, and yeah, like Eli said, is basically how it works. Whenever you bump into someone, you'll probably hit them, and they might hit you. Sometimes you bounce off of them and don't hit them. Sometimes they bounce off of you and don't hit you. But if you're, like Eli said, off center, because this game does not have tile-based movement, then you're a lot, especially it's in game they say if your quote sword tip is, if you hit them with just your sword tip, just the tip, that's an inappropriate and juvenile joke. Then that'll, but also just like the dark nuts in say Zelda, if you get them from the side or from behind. But, of course, that's dangerous. You might be going at them from the side, and then just as you're about to get them, they turn to face you, right? So, like...
Yeah, or usually, they'll turn to face you as soon as you hit them.
Yeah.
So...
And also, you have to, like... You don't just run at them. What happens is, even if you are running at them off-center, if you just charge into them, you'll hit them real fast a couple times in a row, but I think that makes them lucky to get you, because it'll end up, like, your sprite is literally just, like, fucking intersecting with theirs. So what you do is you hit them, you say they're to your right, you're to the left. You go to the right and you hit them, and as soon as you hit them and they rebound off, you retreat, and then you go back and you do it again, and then you retreat, and then you go back and do it again, and that there might be some kind of timer where if you hit them with a little gaff mode, they don't get you back. I don't really get how it works. I'm not saying it's intuitive. I'm saying you must intuit it. It is not intuitive. Yeah. What do you think, Bernard?
I like it.
Yeah.
I haven't quite totally got the hang of it again. I assume I got the hang of it a few years ago when I played the game the first time because I beat it. But yeah,
I don't totally get it.
I like it.
I
don't want every game to be this way. I'm glad that most Ys games aren't this way.
Yeah,
and have different systems.
By the end of it, I was enjoying it enough.
This.
I was sad I had to stop playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. So you go to the town of Zepik, and going to talk about another little side quest here. In Zepik, a woman named Iris is like, oh my god, my husband's gone missing again. He must be sleepwalking again. So if you go all the way back to Port Barbado, you find the man, whose name is Luta Gemma, talking to Dr. Bluto. And Bluto tells him that they have no treatment for chronic sleepwalking, and Luta Gemma leaves. And Bluto is like, we can have the militia escort you back to Zepik. And Luta Gemma's like, nah. I'll be fine. Well, turns out he won't be fine because you have to go and find him in the plains getting attacked by monsters, and you have to save his ass. And you save his ass, and you escort him back to Zepik. Luckily, it just fades to black and fades back up in Zepik. You don't have to walk him all the way there, which is good because I'm really bad at navigating the huge open plains area.
I'm very bad at it too. I found out when I was doing it.
I have a terrible sense
I don't know
of
if I'm better at this than y'all, or more likely, it's much smaller.
It might be much smaller.
I'm pretty sure on mine it's much smaller.
So there's some funny stuff here, I'll say, for memorable moments. But I will say that if you talk to Luta Gemma again after this, he says that since the storm wall appeared 6 months ago, he keeps having this dream where a young woman's voice calls out to him, but he can't figure out where it's coming from. So in the dream, he ends up wandering around to try and find her. And in real life, he is sleepwalking when he does that. So, yeah, that's Luta Gemma's story. And I think he comes back later.
Fun fact, 2 things. First of all, the plains is a lot bigger for y'all. That explains it. Second of all, that is in my game too. They didn't add that. The lady is like, please find my husband. He's gone. He's a sleepwalker. However, I was not able to find him. And I looked all over those goddamn plains, so I don't know. And he wouldn't have been in Barboda because I don't have that town. Yeah, I thought maybe it was a side quest, but then later I was like, maybe it's just flavor text, and then I thought maybe it'll come back later. Maybe I'll give it another shot. I don't know.
I'm sure you can find them somewhere. Well, actually, maybe not. I don't know. I only found him because I wasn't using a guide for the whole thing, but like when I got to the end of what we're doing this week, I used a guide to go back and complete the side quests.
Gotcha.
And that's how I was able to find him, even though I cannot navigate those plains. Another thing in Zepik is that you hear that the town is being protected by a silver bell. You also hear the mayor of the town is really upset about something and is muttering things under his breath like, "Give those thieves everything I have and see if that's enough." What could that mean?
I don't know. There's some guy who really likes silver too, so
and someone mentions
I couldn't put the pieces together. I don't.
It's too
I'm
hard.
Not sure who did it. Yeah.
Yeah, someone in town also mentions a man in a black cape, Sephiroth, coming through town. But if you go and talk to the mayor, whose name is Robles, he's like, "Oh my gosh, someone not from the town. I can trust you with this. Our silver bell that protects the town from monsters has been stolen." And you're like, "Oh no, the silver thing has been stolen."
And he's like, "Don't tell anybody."
Yeah. So he asks you to negotiate with the thieves to try and get the bell back. And before doing that, we go and talk to Jebba, because that's what we're supposed to do. And Jebba, you actually have a surprisingly short conversation with Jebba. She's just like, "Oh, that's Sarah's crystal. I recognize that. Here's a key to the shrine." And you're like, "Okay, I sort of thought I'd get some lore."
Did you talk to her before getting the crystal?
No. Wouldn't you have to, like, go all the way to Zepik, and...
Yeah, well, in my game, the world map was much smaller, and B, I fucked up the quest at the beginning, so I had to raise, like, 1,000 gold. So I had already explored, like, everything in the game before I got the crystal. After I restarted, of course, it's actually kind of cute. Like, if you do the quest, you literally need 100 more gold to get everything, which is just enough to make you go out and have to murder some monsters and grind a little bit and explore. It's not very interesting. I was just curious. She's just like, "You're an outsider. You're not from here. I'm not talking to you." And like I think she even has like a different look on her face. She's like an angry look on her face. And then after she showed the crystal, she's just like, "Oh, hey, you're Sarah's friend. Cool." It's great. The mayor talks to you just fine, even though you're an outsider. So.
So the thieves' hideout is right next to the shrine, so you can go to the thieves' hideout. And there, the boss, who's named Gohan, he's like, "We would never steal the bell. It's too important to the villagers. And we haven't actually been stealing any of that silver stuff you're asking about. Our silver, that we had some silver too, and it was stolen too. We are honorable thieves, and we only steal from shitty rich people."
I love this. They're getting blamed for stealing everyone's shit, and they're like, "No, we're also getting our shit stolen." Yeah, but then you're like, "I just killed a bunch of y'all out there on the plain."
Do you kill thieves?
Is that what? No. Well, with the bad graphics, you can't really tell what the enemies are, but I thought the enemies on that mountain, I mean, they were like armored, like Dark Knight looking dudes. I figured that was the thieves, because this is the thief place, but maybe not.
I think they're just monsters.
Thank God.
I'm pretty sure they're monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just monsters. So talking to the thieves doesn't resolve anything. So I guess we're going into the shrine. So you head into the shrine, and you walk through this little maze area, and then you get to the first boss of the game, and holy shit!
Yeah, also, fun fact, no enemies in the first floor of the shrine, which I always like when a game does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not, like, really properly in the shrine until you defeat the boss, and then when you defeat the boss, a big hole opens up and you can go down into the shrine. But, Eli, you said it was after this boss during this boss that you stopped playing, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, this boss is hard.
I fucking hate it.
Maddie, how hard was it in the Master System version?
So, this game does a thing. So, this game reminds me a lot of one of my favorite games, Chrysalis. Even though Chrysalis has a more traditional hit the sword button to stab them battle system. This game, I don't know about your game, but this version of the game has like hard, what's the word? Like hard damage and level gating, where if your attack isn't at a certain value, you just when you attack the enemy, it just goes ping and does nothing. And for me, the boss just straight up did that, and I'm so proud of myself. I didn't use a guide for almost anything in this game, because I was just enjoying it. Also, the manual has a good bit of info in it, like beginner's tips. So I was like, cool, you know. Anyway, for me, I just had to get to level 5, and by the time I got to level 5, that was enough for my attacks to actually do damage to the enemy. By the time it actually did any damage and didn't just ping off, it wasn't really that hard.
Yeah,
but it's because it didn't let me fight it before that point. Like, I could literally do nothing beforehand, so it's not like I could even try to fight it under-leveled.
Yeah, I am almost certain that your attacks pinging off of enemies is a thing in the Chronicles version. However, I was able to fight the boss at level 2 and do very little damage and get my ass kicked. So, the way the boss works is it's like this wizard-looking guy who just pops up in various spots of the room, and he makes a little flame appear in front of him, but I don't think it can actually hurt you.
In mine, that might just be graphics. In mine, he doesn't even do that. I'm pretty sure he just has no attacks.
Yeah. But there's these rows of flame bursting from the walls in the room, and you have to avoid those when you try to attack the boss, and it's really hard.
Because he's in the middle of the flames.
Especially because I am very impatient.
Yeah, you have to be very patient for this.
Well, and the window, he only appears for a fucking second.
Yeah,
like, the second he starts to appear, you have to make a quick decision of, am I even close enough to get to this bitch? Like, if I run at him, am I going to get there before he goes away?
And most of the time, you're not close enough.
Yeah, most of the time, you run at him, you are too late, he fades away, and then you get flamed.
Yeah.
I will say, too, even the guy I watched playing, like, it took him, like, a dozen attempts at this boss. And I was just fast-forwarding
at this point.
At
this point, I'm grateful for the game not literally letting me even attempt to fight him before level 5, because I fucking would have. You know I would have. Y'all know me. I'm very stubborn. If the game had let me fight him at the point where I did only a teeny tiny bit of damage, I would have spent 5 goddamn hours on it. And you can't save scum during the boss battle. It's the only time in the game you can't save scum. Maybe I could have. I can't actually recall if I fought him at level 4 or not. Like, I just grinded straight from level 2 to 5. I know I tried him at 3. I actually think when I hit 4, I was in such a good groove for grinding. I was just like, I'll go all the way to 5. I don't know if I attempted to fight him.
I fought him at level. I believe I was at level 2. Yes, I was, and I was doing piddly damage to him and dying very quickly, and I tried like 20 times, which didn't take very long because I was dying so quickly. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to go grind. I went and I got to level 3, and then I came back, got my ass kicked some more, and then I went and grinded a bit more so I could buy a longsword, and then I went back and got my ass kicked a few more times, and then I was like, I'll go and do a side quest or two, because I believe there are some side quests that I missed. So at that point I brought up the guide, and so I could figure out how to do a couple side quests, because you do get experience for those.
Yes, experience for quests. Such like some Western game ass shit. I love that.
Yeah, and I got to level 4, and then at level 4, with the upgraded sword, I was able to beat the guy after a few tries.
That's so funny. Even though I was playing a way older version of the game, I did it way faster than y'all by doing what? By, at first it took me a while, actually, because when you're at level 2, when you're in the plains, the knights, you can fight them, no big deal. The, like, wooden golems, you can fight them, no big deal. But those dogs, fuck you up. So it's like, I'm avoiding the dogs. I'm running away from the dogs, but fighting the other enemies. But then once you gain, like, a level or get a new, like, armor, now I can fight the dogs no problem. Anyway, eventually I got where I could fight the knights, the scary ones that I thought were thieves, on the mountain. So what I did is this. I go into the shrine. I exit the shrine. When I exit the shrine, there's a knight right there. So I literally just hold the down button and kill that knight. Then I hold the up button to go back in the shrine. Then I hold the down button to go out of the shrine and kill that knight, who always spawns in the same place. Then I hold the up button to go back in the shrine. So I just despawned and respawned this knight, and I went from level 3 to level 5, which is a fuck ton of experience points. I think I had to kill 500 or 600 of them. It took me about 20 minutes. I just watched a Tim Rogers video while I did it. It was great.
To be clear, the level cap in this game is 10.
Nice. I think I'm at 6 now.
However, we are almost halfway through East 1.
Yeah.
Because it's a short game.
It's a short game.
Wow. So you beat the boss eventually, maybe, and you go down into the shrine, and it turns out
music changes.
You also,
it's amazing.
Yes. But it turns out you also cannot heal while you're in a dungeon.
Yep.
You can save in a dungeon, but you can't heal. So you go around. If you explore the first level of the shrine, you find some prison cells, and you try and you bump against the door, and it says the door is locked. However, the cell appears to not be empty. And I'm like, well, from Adel's perspective, can't he just like see in and see what's in there? I don't know. Maybe it's dark. So if you go down to the second level of the second basement level of the shrine, you find a couple of chests that. And to mention, this whole time you've been finding chests that you can't open because they're locked.
Yeah, there's been one that wasn't locked so far. So yeah, it's very frustrating.
So in the second basement level of the shrine, you find 2 keys. You find a prison cell key and a treasure chest key. And in a chest on the second basement level of the shrine that you can open with the treasure chest key, you find the silver bell. So what's it doing there? Maybe Goban was telling the truth. But if you go back to the prison cells, in one of them you find a monster who is strong and can kick your ass. And that was actually a monster that I pinged off of the first time I fought it. But in the other cell, you find a woman named Feena who's like, "Who are you? Oh my god, I feel like I've been here my entire life. I was imprisoned here." Yes?
I'm so glad I wasn't playing during this part, because this would have driven me absolutely mad.
Oh, yes.
So for me, the game kind of turned into a stealth game here, because I was severely underleveled for these enemies. I could attack them. They wouldn't ping off of me, but they would kill me really fast, and you can't recharge. So, also, I couldn't find that key. It took me a while to find the key. So I was running all the way down to like the 4th or 5th floor of this dungeon, just avoiding every single enemy, terrified out of my mind. But the game's a stealth game until you gain it. Like, you can totally, like, kind of low-key sequence break this game if you just run away from all the enemies and try to, like, juke them out when they're in a tight hallway. So I got all kinds of good treasure, and then, yes, eventually I found the key and all that kind of shit and that I had missed the first time. It's great. Yeah. But also really scary and sucks.
Yeah, the shrine is scary. The monsters in there are strong.
But you can save scum, so it's nice.
Yes. But Feena mentions that she was imprisoned there by a man in a black cape who seems to be able to control the monsters. And she says to leave her and get out of this place, but you're a hero, so you're like, I'm saving you, obviously. So you take her with you. There's a treasure chest in the cell next to her, and if you open it, you get the Mask of Eyes. And she says the man in the black cape put that in there with her. And what the Mask of Eyes does is it makes enemies and people invisible, but it shows you secret passages. So it apparently can reveal secrets, but you have to be careful.
It's the Lens of Truth from Zelda, but more difficult to use.
Yes. So you lead Feena out of the shrine, and you have to lead her carefully because she is very weak. Apparently, I don't know if you can do this in the Master System version, but apparently if you use a special item you can buy from Pim called the Mirror that you can use to stun enemies, you can have her attack enemies by leading her into them, and you can actually level her up.
Really?
Which is cute.
That's very cool. No, in mine she says, "Thanks for saving me. She says, "I'll just I don't." Anyway, she just warps back to the town.
Oh,
you don't have to
do this one. In this one, you have to lead her back, and she walks very slowly, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, you have your walking speed and your running speed, and she, like, moves at about the half the speed of your walking speed.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, the guy I was watching lost her at one point.
So did I.
Great.
So anyway, you lead her back to Zepik, which luckily the shrine is right next to Zepik, so you don't have to take her too far. So you lead her back to Zepik, and she collapses and goes unconscious. So you take her to Jebba's house, and Jebba says that Feena will be all right. Jebba gave her some medicine, and she's resting now. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And so you can go and give the silver bell back to the mayor, and the mayor is really thankful. He's confused that it wasn't the thieves that took it. But yeah, you're done saving Feena, so we're going back to into the shrine next week.
Yep, that's where we're stopped for the week. So yeah, we got to get these 6 books of Ys, and we've gotten 0 of them.
And we're halfway through the game.
But yeah, Sam did say this is a good place to stop. So there you go. I cheated and did play a little bit more. I didn't do any plot stuff. I just explored more of the shrine. There's a bunch of floors. So I just got a key, right? I wasn't going to not go loot for treasure. So I got all kinds of interesting treasure and stuff like that, but no plot stuff.
Yeah, again, like I mentioned earlier, I went back and did a 1 or 2. I think I'd done all the side quests except for the Luda Gemma side quest at this point, so I went back and did that. I brought up a guide and just looked to see what side quests I'd missed.
What the fuck kind of a name is Luda Gemma?
I don't know.
So it doesn't make me think of Gemma from Dragon Quest XI, who is a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. That's your girlfriend in
at the beginning of the game,
right?
Yeah.
She's cute.
She's great. I love her.
So yeah, I guess we are going to listen to more music and then do memorable moments.
Hell yeah, please play that music.
All right, I'm playing the music now. Dang, wasn't that music great? Isn't Falcom music great?
Lovely music that I just heard.
I had to finish the song lyric that I... Never mind. Anyway.
So, I've been talking a lot, so someone else start us off with memorable moments.
Eli.
Oh, crap, I didn't write any down. I was not prepared. Oh, no, wait, there was actually one. Hold on. Notepad, where is it? Okay. There's someone you talk to, Slaff. You talk to Slaff early on, and he goes, I can't remember exactly the context, but he says, "Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy. She'll chew you up."
Aw, that's the localization.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's, if I recall correctly, that's when you're in Bluto's clinic, and the nurse, who I think is named Ayla, like, is
hot
storming in, and is like, you leave that, you let that patient rest. He's not doing good. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Nice. I've got a couple. I like I said, my game has old ass Dragon Warrior style writing. I found a lot of it very charming, though I only remember to take a screenshot of like one. When you return the, for example, or I think I took two examples. When you return the silver bell to the mayor, he says, "Didst thou recover the silver bell? What? The thieves didn't take it? It's underneath the temple? This is all very strange." You don't have any dialogue yourself, so he talks to you like your old yeller. And then let's see. And then another example is Feena saying, "Thank heavens thou art safe. I am resting at this house for the meantime." And then her next line, why was I held at the temple, you asketh? I cannot bear to remember. And that's all I got out of her. I don't know anything about the Man in the Mask, or Man in the Black Cape, or none of that shit. Another thing I love about this game, and this is something that y'all are gonna see, and those of y'all listening, you're just gonna have to fucking, like, look it up or something. Whenever you're, I don't know about y'all, but in this game, whenever you're in a building talking to someone, you get, like, character portraits and stuff, and they're that wonderful 80s, like, Phantasy Star, like, kind of the same, like, anime style as, like, Phantasy Star. And I just love it, and it's, like, super pixel, you know, it's like the pixely, 8-bit, but with really good, really nice colors. Classic 80s anime style, and it reminds me a lot of Phantasy Star 1, both the art style and the graphical limitations. I'm playing on the Master System. It rules. I really liked every single room that I walked into. They were all super characterful and interesting. So that's one of my main memorable moments. I've got maybe one or two comments on the gameplay, but Bernard, you go.
Yeah, in the Chronicles version, they have new art for the Chronicles release, but you can also select the art from the complete version, and they're just sort of two different anime art styles for the close-ups of people, and I like them both. I'm playing with the Chronicles art because I like it more, but yeah, I'll look up the Master System portraits because I am interested to see what those look like.
I just sent one.
Ooh, I like it.
See? It's lovely. Also, the whole layout of everything, the font, the layout, it's just got that old school PC RPG, sort of like Western PC RPG vibe to it. Even though it's not a Western game, it's cool. I love it.
Well, like, old-ass JRPGs were very inspired by
exactly.
Western
wizardry
RPGs, and then eventually developed into their own thing, which is better than Western RPGs, in my opinion.
Personal opinion.
Anyway, so I really like the NPC writing in this game. I think it's delightful. It's like almost Dragon Quest level.
Yeah. Even in my game, it's way better than most games.
Yeah. So one thing I like is when you're in Barbados, everyone is talking about how they're really sad that the storm wall has fucked everything up. And this one man talks about how he and his family came there from the mainland to try and get some of that silver trade money, but now they're stuck there. And have been stuck there for 6 months because that's how long the storm wall has been there. Next door, there's a little boy who says, have you seen the storm wall? Isn't it cool? I hope it stays forever. If it ever goes away, the girl next door will have to leave with her family. Then if you talk to him again, he says, 3 cheers for the storm wall. It's what got me my girlfriend.
I love that.
And then if you go back next door and talk to the little girl who lives there, she says, I think I'm going to go play with my friend next door. Not her boyfriend, just her friend.
That rules.
So yeah, that was really cute. And when you're in Zepik and you talk to, if I recall her name correctly, Iris, and she talks about how her husband's been off sleepwalking and she's worried, you can go talk to another villager who says something about how Iris is worried about Luda Gemma, and then he says, sigh, I wish I had a cute girlfriend who'd worry about me if I suddenly vanished, and isn't that just a mood?
That is a fucking mood.
Oh, and I didn't mention these earlier. When you save Luda Gemma and take him back to Iris, they're like, oh, it's so good to see you again and everything. And then he turns to you and says, thanks for saving me. Now, me and Iris have some business, in quotes, to attend to. Then they go inside. And then if you go inside and you talk to Iris, she's like, oh, how can he tell me not to worry when I know he'll sleepwalk again? He's always sleepwalking. I'm going to have to tie him to the bed tonight and leave him that way this time.
Whoa! Kinky!
That's really... That's fucking good shit. I love this.
Yeah.
That's not in my version. Probably just because they added it later for fun. But even if it wasn't... Actually, Master System wasn't... Sega wasn't as strict on the censorship as Nintendo was, so maybe they would have left it in. Who knows?
I don't know.
That's fun times. I just want to briefly comment. This game's battle system is like whatever. It's like fun. I'm enjoying it. But the general vibe of the game, in a more broad sense, the way that it's structured, the way that it flows, the way that it looks, it reminds me so much of just it's so dog simple, you know? It reminds me of Zelda 1. It reminds me of Dragon Quest. It reminds me of Super Mario Bros. It reminds me of Phantasy Star. It reminds me of all those just like super old sort of like games where like they were inventing something new, so they were only giving it like the few ingredients it needed, and they weren't adding anything extra, you know? Especially Dragon Quest 1. And the numbers in this game are very carefully thought out. Like the amount of gold and experience points it takes to get to the next thing is it's just right. And it's a lot. It's relatively grindy, but it's just right. And you're allowed to do that thing that I love. And I do this in Dragon Quest sometimes too, where I was grinding. I had the first sword, and then I got the second sword, and then I had the first sword, the first shield, the first armor, and then I got the second sword. As I'm grinding to get to level 5, I noticed that I have now gotten enough money for the second armor, but I was gaining money so quickly. The second armor is 2,000 gold, and the third armor is 5,000 gold. Third and final armor. I was gaining gold at such a pretty good pace. I did the math real fast, and I was like, I should just fucking skip the second one. Just go on to the third one. It'll only take me like 10, 15 more minutes of grinding. I'll just like listen to a podcast or something. So I did, and I love doing that. I love like making a calculated decision that I'm just gonna take a little bit of a risk, be a little bit weaker for a while, and then bam, I'm all the way at the best armor. And then when I explored the dungeon, I found the silver shield in the dungeon. So bada bing, that's the best shield in the game. I didn't even have to buy another shield.
Nice.
So yeah, and the numbers were tweaked just right that I could do that and feel really good and feel really rewarded. Like I was engaging in this very, very simplistic system in a way that was had agency. It was cool. It was a good time. I love this. I really love this game.
I'm really happy to hear that the really old version of the game still kicks ass and kicks ass in the same ways that the new
I'm
version
very
does.
surprised at how not particularly clunky and not particularly weird and janky it is. It's just like most. It's like less weird and janky than all those games I just mentioned as comparison points.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I don't have any more memorable moments.
Yeah, I think that's it for us. Bernard, I saw you were confused about our stopping point. I just checked our chat. Our stopping point is one of two things. It is either beat the whole damn game, or if we decide that that's too much, based on how we're feeling, we can stop before we get to the Tower of Darm, which is the final dungeon, which I think is a lot of floors, but just
that
like
Darm Tower.
That Darm Tower, exactly. In mine, it's the Tower of the Doomed, which is nice.
That's better.
It
Yeah,
is.
I like that
It
more.
is better. But yeah. So either we get to the final dungeon tower and save, or we beat the whole game. Let's go ahead and say, get to the tower and save. And then maybe if we're feeling fine about it, we can keep going.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll play to the tower, and then like as long as it's not 2 a.m. The day before the morning that we record, then I'll want to keep going.
Like I spent almost as much time trying to set this game up to play as I did actually playing it, so I'm sure I'll be able to blast through. I think I'll be able to blast through pretty easily.
Yeah, but I won't be upset if we have to expand East 1 into 3 episodes, because more episodes means I get to put more music in the episode.
That's true.
And I want to put every song from this game in the podcast because
it's so good.
Holy shit, the music is so
also,
good.
it means that Sam gets a longer paternity leave. Hey, just to I don't want to spoil our next game, but just to start the hype train rolling, remind me, in case I'm wrong about this, our next game is our sellout game, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes,
so,
it is. I'm very excited for y'all to play.
So I'm
probably going to play.
So
along.
we're not going to say what it is, but if y'all listeners remember, to celebrate year one, instead of doing like trying to play more obscure games or more games that weren't the same shit everyone else was doing, we played Final Fantasy X, which I really loved it. Sam really loved it. Eli had mixed opinions, which is fine.
I mean, I love the story.
yeah.
But I have mixed opinions about just about every game we've played on this podcast.
It's true.
So.
You have, I don't know, taste, and me and Sam are just like every video game is good. Anyway. We're doing that again to celebrate the end of year, two wonderful years of this pod. We're playing a very popular game that everybody loves, and I think that y'all would probably love to hear our thoughts about it, so get fucking excited.
It's a game I've never played before, and I've somehow managed to avoid all spoilers of.
Right? Yeah. He hasn't been spoiled at all. Yeah,
it's so good.
I'm really excited about this. I haven't played the game in quite a fucking while. So yeah, we'll probably announce it in like 2 weeks, and then y'all will know what it is.
I'm so excited for y'all.
Cool. Cool. That is.
I was just going to say, I'm so thankful that y'all are letting me be back on the pod to play East.
Yeah, thanks for volunteering. Thanks for correcting me on being wrong about shit and having already played this game before. That's helpful.
And thank you for taking notes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God knows I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I can definitely do it next time. Oh, wait, I shouldn't do it because I'm not playing the same version of the game. I guess you're stuck on notes duty.
I'll continue doing it because even though our versions sound pretty similar, mine is going to be the one that has more stuff in it.
Yeah, yours just has more. So. Cool. Eli, sign us off.
Cool. Yeah, this is, shit. I got put on the spot.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you like what you hear, check us out at rpgbook.club. We got all our hot links over there. We got our Discord.
I want to go eat some hot links.
Hot links. We got
now I'm thinking about Link from Breath of the Wild. That's a hot link.
It is a hot link. That is probably the hottest Link. He is great. We got our Twitter, which is at RPG Book Club. We have our email, which is rpgbookclub@gmail.com. And check out our Ko-Fi, which is ko-fi.com/rpgbookclub. If you're going to find us, just look for RPG Book Club. It's probably in the name. We love you all, and we're happy to have you for this, and hope you keep listening. For RPG Book Club, I have been Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
I'm Maddie Grace Webbin.
I'm Bernard Houck.
Bye, dorks.
Toodaloo.
Bye.